Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Dr Lynda Cramer. Thank you so much for being here. Nanu. Today is free psychic reading day. So if you haven't commented already, please comment in the comments below what you wish me to answer today. I tap into her, my guide, and it's all free. Yay! Okay. Wow. I love that I do this for you guys. I love the feedback that I get from people saying, wow, you do 2 lives a week? Yes, I do. So my other live that I do, same bat time, so it's 9 o'clock, what it is now, on Saturday, Brisbane time. That is now my tarot reading day, where everybody gets a free tarot card. If you comment, like a lot of people have today, before I go live, you also get the Love Dove card because it's a dove and every card starts with the word love. So you get those as well on Sundays. Saturdays, Friday night if you're in the US. Okay, so today's free psychic day. I can see that I've already got heaps of comments here. So powering through this, how do we stay sane with all the insanity going on? I was just watching a video about Billie Eilish and what she said at the Grammys. I don't know the sanity level of these people, whether they get paid to say it from some sort of agenda or they're just literally got no more cognitive dissonance to their names. But at the end of the day, these reporters went out to Billie Eilish's house and they're buzzing her buzzer. Bzz, 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 bzz. She's not answering. And he says, isn't it ironic how she's saying that we're all on stolen, there's no stolen land and all this stuff about stolen land stuff. And he's saying, look at the fence she's got. Look at the big hedges so no one can get in. And she's on stolen land. So he presses the buzzer. So this rings out through the whole house, right? Or through the security. So it's all logged. And this reporter says, hey, when are you giving your land back because you've stolen it? And this is the critical thinking that we now must do. I was nearly going to do a video the other day because I had a reading with a person. I'm not going to identify male or female. Not going to tell you where they're from. But this person, they hung up the Zoom call after about 5 minutes because they were so opinionated, so much cognitive dissonance, they could not fathom someone else's opinion. They got offended. They've got issues. And this is what we're seeing so much now of, where people cannot just say, you know what, you've got your agenda, you've got your beliefs, you've got your opinions, I've got mine. I'm just going to let you do whatever the hell you want, and I hope that you respect me and let me do mine as well. All these riots going on in America now, we know there's so much evidence. Walt set this all up. He was doing what's called something checks, speed checks or something. And what that means is that he was giving out the location where these ice raids were going to be. So the big question that I posed to this woman, it was a woman, she got so offended by, because I go to critical level of thinking. And I said to her, if this wasn't all set up, how did Renee Good know to be at that location at that day at that time? Think about it. How did she know to be there before it happened? Now, you can't say she just dropped off her kids because her kids' school was 20 miles away where she lived. Her rego plate on her car is from a totally different state. She did not live in that area. This did not happen outside her door. So how did she know to go to that exact street, the exact number on that street, to be there at that exact time? So we've got to start using critical thinking and working out who's got the agendas on the planet. Now, I don't take sides, and I certainly will never say one person is all good or all bad. Even Adolf Hitler had some good things about him because he had Ava Braun who fell in love with him and she married him. So everyone has the capacity to have good and bad within them, negative, positive, whatever, because I just don't take sides because I don't get involved with what other people do. And this is how we have to separate. All these people going out to marches and the riots, did they personally know Renee or Alex Preddy? Did they actually know the kids involved? Were they part of the gang or the paid protesters or anything else that were there? Because we now know it was all paid. Okay, it's part of all the corruption that's coming out. So we have to sit back, be aware of what they're doing, but we don't get mentally involved. Mentally involved has another word, and it's called energetic emotional attachment. This woman got so angry with me because her emotional energy connection to those riots and protests, she could not contemplate any other fathomable evidence to support any other option of what could happen. That is the problem with society right now. That right there is what I hope and pray we all look at, because I'm human too, and that we have to sit there and work out, A, is this going to affect my life? B, did I know him personally to want to even attempt to get involved? And C, why at the end of the day does it matter? And that's the three things that we have to contemplate with everything going on. You know, we just had a mass shooting here in Australia down at Bondi Beach in New South Wales. I usually watch a psychic who does a live on Facebook, and she came on doing her live and she said, "Oh, I can't do my live this week. I'm so upset about what happened at Bondi." Well, I lost a bit of integrity for her over that, because as a psychic, we should know how to generate and moderate, which is utilize, control our own energy, which is emotions. So for her to say that she's emotionally upset by what happened in Bondi, that shows me, she didn't know any of those victims. She doesn't even live anywhere near there. So why, it wasn't like her father got killed. I lost my dad last August. Of course, I knew my dad. I was going there once or twice every 2 weeks to see him. So, of course, I've got that energy connection to my dad. So, of course, I grieve and I got upset by it. But when things happen to people that we don't even know, let it go. Allow this stuff to go on. We don't have to go out and protest. We don't have to get up on stage at the Grammys and say, I hate this and I hate that. Because now you're showing an opinion based on gossip. And gossip is extremely negative because it's hearsay. Hearsay, if we start believing in hearsay, that's when the world crumbles and society fails. And this is when the government comes in using that gossip and the hearsay, and they try to manipulate us to believe what they want us to believe. And look at all the people now protesting in America. They're believing the hearsay, which is the gossip, from what the government's saying about it. The evidence stipulates Waltz has now been found that he's been telling people where to go. Waltz has now been proven that he's been doing corruption. And what's her name? Ilhan Omar has just been caught out with $30 million worth of fraud from the daycare centres, from the Somali daycare centres. So things are about to happen. But I'll tell you something, I don't support Trump, but the way that he is just sitting back and letting them fall down the sewerage pipes by themselves, that takes guts. That is what a leader does, because he's a federal POTUS. He doesn't have to get involved with one particular state. That's the job of the governor. And the governor right now is screwing his own state severely. So Waltz rang Trump. Let's go there. There was a conversation 4 days ago when Trump went through Waltz and said, fix your problems. We know what's happening there with your corruption. It's all going to come out if you don't start fixing it. And look at now, Waltz has come out saying, I'm not going to re-elect myself. I'm not going to nominate myself next time, because he has to show that he's good even though he's been forced out. So we've got to see between these lines. Okay? We have to see the truth of what's going on. When I saw that footage of Alex Petty, he was kicking the back of that ICE vehicle and he took out the taillight. How the hell did he know to be at that address at that exact time, at that exact day, to do that? And then he turned up 2 weeks later and did it again where he got shot? Do you think these officers weren't involved the first time? They knew this guy. You know the old known by police that they say in the media? Alex Petty, known by the police because of his police involvement. So please, guys, don't listen to what the media is telling us. We've got to sit back, disconnect, think of it rationally. How did Renee Good know to be there? Ask questions, okay? Even if we don't know the answers, because I don't know the definitive answer here. But at the end of the day, with everything going on, with all this, if you follow that lady from the UK, bat it crazy, bonkers UK, she's telling the truth out there about what's going on. But even with her, when I listen to her, because she makes it sort of comical and humorous, I sit back and I think, well, is everything she's saying really the truth anyway? The only truth I know is what's within me. The only person that I truly, truly love above anybody else is me. And that's where we have to sit here and truly love ourselves first so we don't get offended, full of hate, to the point where we get on stage at the Grammys and make a total disgusting disappointment about ourselves. She's just lost all her respect, Billie Eilish. There's so many people cancelling tickets and they all want refunds. She was a very, very silly girl who made a very, very silly mistake. And I hope and pray she looks at whoever paid her to say that at the Grammys, because they just don't come out with this stuff. Right? They're performers. Everything they do is because of a paycheck. So, like the politicians, unfortunately. So, we've just got to sit there, accept ourselves, love ourselves, and then just allow the universe to do what it's doing and hope and pray that love prevails. Okay? So how are you all feeling today? I hope and pray you're feeling good. Okay? I'm about to start doing Psychic Reading Day. Yes! But I like giving a little 15 minutes of little morals before I do my live. So all my lives on my channel, go back through and listen to the first 15 minutes where I just do something like I just said then, because it's all development. It's all teaching us how to be better people at the end of the day with all the world crumbling because of all this chaos. How do we survive chaos? Don't get involved. Don't get involved with it. I've lost so many friends over the years because I will not tolerate the drama they create, and they want me in that cyclone, tornado, hurricane effect of all their madness. I don't need it. I don't want to stress myself out. I want to be happy. I want to be loving, kind, generous, and I want to be supportive of those who follow me. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Let's get on to some psychic readings. Is she here? Are you wondering? Oh, I just heard, yes, she's here. I love it how great our conversation is with her. You know, she's been with me forever, as our guides generally are. So please know you get 2 psychics for the price of 1 today. If you do want a psychic reading from me, where I give you up to an hour and a half of a Zoom call, one-on-one private and confidential conversation, please click the link below. Okay, I do have spots available from the end of next week. Okay, because I'm taking a few days off. The last 2 weeks for me has been absolutely inundated. Okay, so let's go there. Robert Harris. I've restarted planning the structure of my story. Does your lady think of it's on the right track? So the word that I want you to listen to here, Robert, is restarted. There is a component of this story that you haven't put in there yet. Now, it doesn't have to be in the first chapter. Think of it like a detective story. Not all the truths come out in the first part. Okay, some of the clues don't come through until right at the end when Perot says, ta-da! So, but there is a component that you have to establish that's going to be in this story, and you haven't put it into your planner of what this story is about. You haven't put it in there. So please go a little bit deeper, like a backstory that will have some sort of motive for what happens in your story. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and I hope that helps. Okay. Robert also says, I meant to say at the start that I wish you and everyone following a wonderful Thursday. Hello, no. However, my keenness to ask a question drove my excitement. I know. And you know what? I love it when people say that they're excited because it shows that they're passionate, which is love, and it's energy from that emotion. Emotions equals energy, okay? And Robert also says Mel would like to know, Mel's his wife, by the way. Although now is an uncertain time ahead, is now a good time to consider reducing my hours at work? I actually am now saying yes for Mel. It would be great for your long-term goals if she stayed there, but you know what? This is a fire horse year where we have to take charge of our future. And why would you want to really commit yourself to more hours, burn yourself out where you could get physically sick and die, right? Or slow down, pace yourself so you win that race. The turtle and the rabbit, remember who won that race? So I'm actually hearing now is a good time to slow down, okay? Love you both. Thank you so much for being here. Julie Youngren, hi there. Robert, Mel, Pixie, and Ronnie. Yes! Pixie and Ronnie are the animals that belong to Robert and Mel, for anyone new watching today. Okay. Hi, Linda, Natasha, and Mary. Now, I am Linda. My daughter is Tashi, whose real name's Natasha. And Mary. She's asleep under my bed. I weighed her the other day. So much for the diet. She was 7.2 kilos. We got her down to 7, and now she was 7.3 kilos. We got her down to 7, and now she's back up to 7.2 because guess what? I thought, you're doing so good on the diet, you can have some treaties. So Mary's my pussycat, and yeah, she's pudgy. She's Queen Mary, my feral cat. Okay, so thank you so much, Julie, for asking about everybody. Robert Harris says she also sends her love to you and wishes everyone all the best in their lives at the moment. P.S. Pixie and Ronnie say hi. Meow meows. Pixie and Ronnie. Meow meow meows. They're cats. Okay. Julie Youngren says, I would love some direction or any insight from your lady, if possible. No job still. Julie, I don't understand why you haven't got a job. There was an opportunity like 3 weeks ago where you should have got it. Why didn't they want it? Why didn't they take Julie? Oh. I'm thinking someone lied on their resume. That sort of thing. Okay? Damn. Now, I don't support people who lie on their resume, but guess what? We all do it, right? Okay. Everyone I know that's ever had to do a resume, I used Pardon me, I used to write resumes for people. It was one of the courses I did with the police well, because police have to apply for other positions. So there's a course, how to write your resume, a government resume. So I used to help people writing up their resumes, and I'd say to them, how long did you do that for? And they'd say, oh, I was really only there for 4 years. But on your resume, it says you were there for 8, you know. So I know everybody lies on their resumes. Thank goodness I haven't had to do a resume. I don't need one, so I don't have to lie about it. Thank God anymore. Okay. But Julie, you're honest. So go in there, and when you do talk to these people at interviews, tell them why you want to work with a company. Mention something that company has done. So if it's McDonald's per se, because we all know the word McDonald's, find out something where they do charity. I know that here in Australia they support children's hospitals. So if you go to the interview and you say, oh, wow, I'm really proud to be working for this company because you do that supporting for the children's hospitals. So if you throw that little line about whatever company it is with what they do, you know, even if they're a coal supplier and there's billows of black smoke coming out of their chimneys every day, you can go in there and say, well, thank you so much for not using all this new climate change agenda. You know, you're still using fossil fuels, which I appreciate, and that's why I want to work here. So you compliment whatever it is that they're doing, okay? Yeah, I'm seeing you getting a job, Julie. Oh my gosh. But just remember, there is a reason why you haven't yet. So I hope and pray you're just taking this time, separate from all the insanity. Okay? There's so much insanity on the planet at this point. Separate from it. Use your critical thinking to really sort out who and what you are. Maybe even start a new hobby during this time, even if it's just doodling on the flyers that you get in your letterbox. Free paper, okay? So you're not spending money. You know, every day I get real estate flyers in my letterbox. I use them for my I do. I use them for my grocery list, okay? Because it's usually on one side and the other side's blank. So I have it stuck on the fridge so you don't even see the real estate, but I put my grocery list on it when I get them. So there is something for you to do while you're not working. Work that out, start it, because once you get it started, that's when you'll find that you get the job, so then you can do both at the same time. Okay. All things must pass. Hello, Nanu. P, I know who you are. Hi, Linda. Hope you are well. Sending lots of love and prayers your way. Hello to everyone in the chat. Yay, I love it when you all talk to each other. I don't need a question answered. Instead, can you all please send me prayers for mental and physical strength? So, guys, all things must pass. Let's just do it. Now, we don't know who this person looks like. We don't know where they are. They could be anywhere on the planet. So all we've got is the name. So we look at the name at all things must pass GH. And we just concentrate on that name. And we just think about love, health, happiness, harmony. You know, I go to the 3. I love the 3 H's. Health, harmony, happiness. Health is physical and mental. Harmony is when we're in that state of peace where nothing is affecting us. And happiness is what we're passionate about. So they are different. The 3 H's are all different. So let's start with health. Now, I do pray. I use Jesus, but you may want to use Allah, Buddha, Muhammad, whoever, okay? Whoever. Heavenly Father, Jesus in heaven, thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing all things to pass to comment today. Please fill her with your hope and your love of heaven. Let her feel that energy where I was back in 2001. Let her feel that there is a hope and there is a reason why things are happening at this point. Allow her the ability to let go of what's been going on. Stop thinking about it. Allow her to concentrate instead on just what she needs to survive at this point. Allow her to sleep so her thoughts through the day become clear. Allow her the clarity to see that she is the most important person to her at this time. No one else matters. And most of all, allow her to accept what's happening so she can move forward in that peace and love of heaven. Amen. Now, what did I just hear for you? Beetroot. All things must pass. Get yourself some beets. You know those purple, round, bulbous plants? You chop it up, fry. You can put it in the fryer. You can put it in, boil it. Beetroot. Okay, beets. The purple beets. I'm hearing eat some of those. Okay. Change your diet around. Okay. And also keep thinking about how much you love yourself. I love you. I know what's going on. Okay. It's gorgeous when you think that you're here through all this madness and you're not insane. Look how many insane idiots are out there at this point. Come on, we've got to laugh at life. Now, I'm just going to go there. At this point, I'm in Facebook jail. Again, all the good ones are, right? But I don't take sides, so I can't say good. All the positive ones, we're all getting attacked, okay? We all are. We spread messages of love and we pull out people's behaviours. So we, tell them, hey, are you aware that you're doing this wrong? We get reported and then we're banned for a week. So at this point, I'm in Facebook jail. So what's happened at this point is I can only send the like. You know when you press like and it has like a like button, a hate button, angry button, sad one, a huggy one, and then there's the laughing emoji. Man, I've been pressing that laughing emoji probably 2,000 times this week while I've been in jail because I can't comment, but there are so many insane people on Facebook at this point, especially politicians. And all you got to do is just press that laugh button because that shows that I'm separating. That shows that I'm not taking them seriously because I'm not putting my emotional energy into them. Okay? So all things must pass. Sit back, separate. Okay? It's all working out for the best for you. And if you do want a private chat, I know who you are. So email me. Okay? Contact me on Facebook Messenger. Now, some of my messengers aren't going through as well, which is funny. So, yeah, it's best to email me at this point, okay? All right, let's keep moving down. JMH, we all know who this one with Lola. Yay! Nanu to you too, Jim. Okay, I don't have a question. However, any guidance for the coming week for the boss lady, she's the boss lady, okay, would be appreciated. Wolf. Now, Wolf is Lola. So he also says, I just got a tarot card for you today, and it was the 9 of Pentacles. So let's have a look. Because if this is a card for me, and I love it when people do cards for me. I'm here doing lives twice a week. So I love it when people say, hey, Linda, here's a little treat for you. So I never say no if anyone wants to do a reading for me. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. So this is a card that Jim H., we all know who he is. Okay, he's pulled a card for me. The 9 of Pentacles indicates financial success and material security. Hallelujah. Okay, usually attained through one's own efforts. Oh, honey, I would love some good news financially at this point. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm looking at about $5,000 worth of dental work. Yeah, I can't afford it. I don't have a credit card, so I can't afford it. But, I'm just going to put it out there. It's my birthday in 4 weeks. So if anyone does want to just send me a little gift, financial gift for my birthday so I can put it into my dental fund because I've broken a tooth. which needs to come out. But the problem is, because I wear a plate, the plate sits on that tooth. So without that tooth, the plate won't fit. So I've got to get a whole brand new plate built. So I'm looking at $5,000 with a couple of extractions that I've got to get as well. Oh, God, we don't need to talk about dental work. But, I'm 60 on the 5th of March. There you go, guys. Now you all know my birthday. So if you do want to send me over a birthday financial gift, please do, so I can put it in the kitty towards my dental work that I need to be doing. So that's a nice card. And as soon as I saw that it was the Nine of Pentacles, I knew it was a money coming in card, because that's what it is. So hopefully the universe does supply what we need, right? Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, Joko Paranormal, Nanu, thank you so much for being here. Validation last week. My tarot card, you said a neighbour was moving out, which really happened. I had to go to court to help evict my neighbour, the drug dealer. She moved out Sunday. Now, I'm getting the goosebumps. The good thing about my lives is that it's recorded. You can go back a week ago when I spoke to Joko Paranormal, and I sort of somehow remember something I said where things were moving, and it looks like neighbours are moving out. So Joko Paranormal has just given me a testimonial. Thank you so much. And I love it when people come on my lives and give me testimonials, because this is the way people can see that I'm an honest-to-God psychic. I'm not faking this, okay? And also, if you do want a psychic reading from me, the link is below. I don't charge. I only ask PayPal contributions, okay? Then please email me and we can set up a time and date. I've actually got heaps of spots available from the end of next week. So, because it takes a few days to organise it, because I do want to take a few days off. I haven't been well because this tooth got infected. I had an abscess in my jaw. So I got sick about 2 weeks ago. I've been on antibiotics. And, I'm getting better, but I'm facing, I went to a dentist. It's like $5,000 to get a new plate belt with all the extractions I've got to do. So, but I'm fine. I'm getting there, I just laugh at how my body reacts, because, I was talking to my mum the other day, and she said, well, Linda, no wonder your teeth are so awful. Look at all the pills the doctors forced down your throat when I was a kid. So that was from my mum just the other day saying, wow, they had you on everything. So just to clarify, I was in hospital till I was nearly 2, and the doctors said that I'd need heart, lung, and kidney transplants. Now, back in the 60s, that was a death sentence. Luckily, I've never had those operations. I've never needed them because I sort of do look after myself, okay? But, yeah, what happens is there are side effects from all those drugs that you get thrown down your throat, as my mum said. So, that's why I've got bad eyesight. My hearing is shot. My nasal system is shot. I can't breathe through my nose, guys. That's why I'm a little bit nasally. I talk like this. And also my voice, and also, teeth get affected from pure oxygen. So when you see people on pure oxygen, the masks in hospital, that does affect the calcium in your teeth, okay? So there you go. All right. So Joko Paranormal, thank you so much for the testimonial, okay? I don't need to write them down because I get enough in comments for people to justify that I do good psychic work for people. Okay, wow. And I'm so glad you finally got rid of that neighbour. Yay. Devil that you know against the devil you don't, isn't it? Yeah. When they're doing if they do an open day where people come to inspect, please go to that and see who talks to the real estate, because you can always butt in and say, oh, you're not going to like this area. I live next door. We've got Satanists that do devil worshipping next door. So you can be discerning with who comes in, okay? Give you a little, where I used to live at Browns Plains, they were selling my house. Well, while I lived there, it sold 3 times, but luckily I was able to stay there, thank you to the universe. But this lady was going to buy it one day, and she was just this small little, 4'2" little Asian lady, beautiful, loving girl. And I said to her, you really don't want this house. It has about $250,000 of renos just to move in. The carpet needs to replace. It needs a new roof. The plumbing shop. The bathroom's got a big hole in the shower. So that shower right there is $5,000 to replace. I said, have you got the money to do that? And she was like, no. And then we went into the bedroom, and one of my cupboards, it had slidey doors and they were falling off. It was all broken. And she was trying to get into the cupboard, and I said, don't open that cupboard because it'll fall on you. And if you get killed today, the real estate's responsible. And she went, oh, yeah, I don't want this house. So, I deterred her from buying it because, A, I would have had to have moved out because I was tolerant of all these things wrong with the old house because it was cheaper rent, but then they put the rent up anyway with the new owner. So I had to move out. But, you can be discerning with who does move in around you. Let them know what the area is like so you get someone nice in, okay? All right, Robert Robert in Egues, okay. Hi, Linda, should I move to Florida? Oh, now, I just heard no, but there's a but with this. So let me finish your comment. Should I move to Florida? I want to be safe in the New World Order. Will I be safe there? Is everyone getting screwed? Everyone is getting screwed wherever you go, Robert. I've actually said I'm moving to Sentinel Island. If you don't know where Sentinel Island is, it's a little tiny 90-acre island. Is it about maybe 900 acres? I don't know. But it's off India. And there's a tribe of people on there. You can't go there. If you go there, they kill you. People have landed and they come out with their spears, and there's no roads because they're indigenous. They've never had technology. So I would love to just go there and say, peace out, love yous. Can I please join your tribe? They'd probably kill me within 5 minutes because no one's allowed there. But damn, if I got accepted by the tribe, damn, that would be lovely, just living back like, growing food and just, they're never sick. Isn't that funny? They never get sick. Huh. So, yeah, New World Order. Now, when I zap into New World Order, it's crumbling. Trump just left the WHO and he's already left the UN. So why do you think the Democrats are going crazy? Because they're the ones that are supporting these organizations. Who's getting the funding? Now, that was not a question. WHO, World Health Organization, is getting the funding from the Democrats, okay? So now that Trump's turned off that tap of free money, now we have to sit here and say to ourselves, what happens next? Of course they're going to get out and everyone's rioting in America. So don't get involved with them. We all know that there are hidden agendas behind this ICE deal, okay? They're using the ICE deal to just try and get rid of Trump because as soon as somebody else gets in, Democrat, they're going to turn on the WHO funding. They're going to get back into the UN, and they're going to start doing the 2030 agenda. We can't let this happen, guys. Let me just go there. In China right now, when you go to a unit, like a housing complex where you've got an apartment, which is called a unit, to get in, there's no more keys. You put your hand on the biometric reader. So it's like a keypad at the door. You put your hand on it and it says your name. It knows you through your fingerprints. When you go to the shops, same thing. You don't have to buy anything because when you go to Aldi or your pharmacy, buy your alcohol, go to the pet shop to buy your dog food, go to your stationery shop or your discount store, wherever you go, they've got one of these at the door and you just put your hand on it and your card, your credit card or your banking is linked to your fingerprints. Now, the problem with this is, because I've seen this in videos, what happens if you don't pay a bill? There was a lady, her electricity bill was due on, say, like the 1st of the month. She couldn't afford it on the 1st. She tried to pay it on the 3rd. But guess what happened on the 2nd? On the 2nd, because it said, oops, you didn't pay your bill, her handprint no longer worked anywhere. So she left her building and she couldn't get back in because it's all biometric. So when she went to the shops, she couldn't buy anything. So when the money came into her account, she still couldn't do anything because she was locked out. So how do you pay a bill when you're locked out of your unit where your laptop is, where you pay your bills? So there are millions of homeless people now in China who have this biometric or chip, because they want to put chips in us all, right, because they're doing it in China. So right now, this system is failing. They know that the biometric system that the UN and the World Health Organization, the CDC, and all those other unelected organizations, they want to implement this totalitarian control of the citizens on a global level. Okay? So we've got to be careful of this. So where do we go to avoid it? Right now, I can't go to the UK unless I do biometric security. I don't like doing biometric because it's radiation. It goes inside us. So is this another ploy if we go down this rabbit hole of conspiracies where every time we go through the scanner at airports, I've seen the videos from people going through the scanners. It's worse than an MRI because it radiates our body, which is a cellular being, and it affects us. It makes us sick. So the more we travel and the more we're going through these security, imagine if you worked at the airport where you've got to go through that security every day and then to get out again, because that's, you work inside those security clearances. So every day you're getting this zip of radiation, zip, and then we wonder why people are getting cancers, brain tumors, stomach, infertility, dementias. So is it just from the vaccines or the chemtrails or 5G, or it's an accumulative thing of everything? So where do we go to avoid this? We can't. But you know what? The more we think about it, the more we create it. The more we think, the more we create. I learned this in heaven. So we have to just not think about it, Robert. I sit here every day and I see chemtrails and I say, you can't affect me today. Nick off, F off. I don't want you on me. And I don't get sick. I go into my local shopping centre where there's a lot of sick people. And I say, your energy cannot touch me today. And I clap because clapping creates an energy burst like light. Okay, there is a spark of energy when we clap our hands. And I say, we cannot allow, I give no consent for the energy from this place to attach to me today. Nick off. You've got no consent on me. And see how I'm sweeping it off. And then when I go outside, I say, thank you so much for allowing me to go in there today, keeping me safe. Now, here's one that we can all do. Try this one next time you go out. Before you go into your supermarket, sit there, just think. So you might want to close your eyes. Do it in the car, okay, or somewhere private. So you can just close your eyes and you stay calm and you talk to whoever and you just say, I really want to be invisible today. Please, I'm going to be invisible today. I don't want anyone to see me. Make me invisible. I give consent to the universe to make me invisible today. Then you go into the supermarket and guess what happens? People walk into me and it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. And you think, yeah. But then when I go back outside again, I say, I take that spell off. I take that incantation. I take that manifestation. Law of attraction, whatever I just allowed, and law of attraction, so I attracted invisibility. I now cast that off me. Energy is magic. I'm not a witch. I'm a psychic. It's a manipulation of energy. That's how I psychically see things for people. So when try this yourself. I've got a friend, right? Every time she goes to her shopping centre, it's massive. They've got like 3,000 car parks there where she has to go. So as she's driving to the shops, she says, I command, because now we're taking control of our energy. She says, I command that I am going to get a car park within 5 car parks of the front door. I command, and she claps, I command. I give myself permission, and I command that I'm going to get a car park within the 5 first car bays of the front door. So she's driving in, she takes a turn, she takes another turn, she drives around past the front door, and guess what? There, 4th car park right outside the front door, in she goes, and she's only got to walk 20 feet and she's inside the shops. This stuff works. We create what we do want. I command that tonight I'm going to win the $50 million Powerball. Why not? If it's in my life contract that I'm supposed to be rich and famous, I'm going to win it. See what I mean? Tonight in Australia, we have a $50 million Powerball. I'm going to buy a ticket later. Okay? I don't usually buy them unless it's big like this. But guess what? I'm a generous person, so put out the energy. Please let Lynda be generous back to me. Okay? Yeah, because I'm always generous when I'm in money. But, we put it out there. I command the universe, and I allow the universe to allow me to receive this, whether it's invisibility, whether it's money, whether I receive my health today. But I'm swearing, don't say, I want to go out and be a rioter, because look what happens to Renee Good, prolific rioter. That was not her first time being there. They knew her. They knew the trouble she'd caused before that. Oh, yes, thank you so much for confirming that. So how do you deal with a prolific criminal? They just got tired of what she was doing. And as soon as she tried to run that guy over, bang, consequences. And unfortunately, karma works. Karma works. So let's get back to going down, Robert. I hope that's helped you, darling man. Okay. I'm not seeing Florida. Okay. However, I am seeing south of where you are, obviously, because Florida is south, but maybe down Tennessee, New Orleans, however you pronounce it, Mississippi, okay, somewhere down in there. Get back into those spiritual states. When I lived in North Carolina, I actually said to my husband, can we go down to Mississippi? I want to see those big, the churches where all the girls in the choir, amen, amen, and they're singing and they're jiving. Oh, my God, that energy is so powerful. I could live down there. So, Robert, if you get the chance to go down there and be a part of what energy they're creating, I bet you any money they're not out doing the insane riots at this point, are they? Think about it. Okay, let's keep moving on. Barbara Byers, no. Happy to join today. Hope there's pockets of peace in everyone today. Hope energy is up, Lynda. Yay! I love you, Barbara. Yeah, they're trying to make New Zealand an Australian state. Like our Prime Minister, Albanese, I just can't believe the audacity that he's got at this point. He's absolutely one of the insanity bill nominees of the year. Okay, so yeah, bring in the peace, Barbara. Okay, just keep thinking about what it is that you want, create what you want in this world. Okay, I go to bed thinking about waterfalls, dolphins, and butterflies. Oh yeah. See, I just went back to the moment. All right, so here we go. Keep going. Anna True. Hello, Anna True. Hi, Linda. Hope you are on the mend. Thank you for knowing that I wasn't well a few weeks ago. Sensitive question, I'm afraid. Okay. Will my 20-year-old daughter ever get over the sexual assaults and grooming? She's so messed up, I've tried everything. Anna. You know, first thing I'm going to say is thank you so much for your honesty. It took guts saying that live in public comments. That shows me that you're a genuine person who truly wants to help your daughter. So thank you, Anna, first of all. Secondly, thank goodness your daughter's now 20. It's not like you're going to be talking to a 14-year-old. What I hope you can do for her is to teach her through your own actions how Eleanor Roosevelt survived all the physical attacks that she got as the First Lady of the USA. Eleanor Roosevelt was in the news. She was one of the first females who ever started doing charity work. The media hated her, saying that she was a disgrace because she's supposed to be living in the White House, but she's out there mixing with commoners and homeless people. So they really tried to attack her bad in a different sort of sense to what your daughter's going through. But it's the same advice. Eleanor Roosevelt put out a public notice saying, what other people think of me is none of my business. And this is what I need you to teach to your daughter. What those people did to her was not about her. It was them. It was their issues. It was their problems. It was their mental health, their addictions or whatever. She was just the one who was the victim of it. But I don't want her to stay as victim. I want her to be, oh, I know. Smart, wasn't it? What was her first name? I just watched this documentary on Netflix. How funny. It's the story of this girl. Let me just Google it because I really want her name for you, Anna, okay? Because this is going to help us all heal our past traumas. So if you've been through any sort of past trauma, please listen up. There's a documentary on Netflix right now. I'm just trying to find it on my phone. Oh, God. Since this iOS update that I've done, everything's different. Smart abduction. Whoops. Oh, my God, if I could type. Elizabeth Smart is her name. Look her up. So it's the kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart. She was 14, sleeping in her house in the same bedroom as her little sister. A man came into the house, took her at knife point, took her up into the mountains of Utah, and raped her from day dot. Sorry for saying that just so bluntly. If that does trigger you, please go and talk to someone about this, okay? So he had a wife who was allowing this. She helped in the kidnapping. So for 9 months, every day she was treated like that. He ended up putting her in a Muslim jihad thing where she could only see her eyes, and they'd go into town. And luckily, the daughter remembered the voice of this guy, and she ended up identifying him. So then they put out a photo of what he looked like, and people identified him when she was there with her. So she got found after 9 months. She is now an advocate for what happens to people. I would like your daughter, Anna, to look at this Elizabeth Smart story, okay, for her own growth, for her. And isn't it funny? I only watched this like 2 days ago. Everything I do is for a reason, and it's so clear to me. Now I know why I had to watch this documentary the other night. So I'll just put it up there so you can see. It's the kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart. Okay. She was taken from a bedroom in Salt Lake City. Elizabeth Smart, please go and look at that, and then sit with your daughter and look at how she healed from that, because she has some very profound, she's now an advocate for what people go through, okay? So I want your daughter to know she's not alone. None of us are. We've all got support. And most importantly, other people can help her heal from what she's going through. And it's not just so much what she has to heal, it's so do you, Anna. This happened to your girl. If something happened to my girl, I reckon I'd be getting out the AK-48 assault rifle and going and looking. And I'm not that sort of person at all. Not that I would ever harm the person, but I would definitely detain and call the police and make that guy punished. But at the end of the day, we all have life lessons to be here. We're all here to learn a lesson. So the person who does those horrendous acts, they're here to learn a lesson. And so are the victims. We must remember that. So we've got to look at the lessons. How do we learn how to trust? Unless we're in that situation where we can't. How do we learn to forgive? Unless somebody does horrendous acts to us where we feel that we can't. Wow. Sometimes, and I believe it's the old souls of us, we go through some horrendous stuff. So we do see the good that comes out of it. If I hadn't gone through 3 divorces, how could I ever talk to people going through bad breakups? If I hadn't lost a child myself, how could I ever talk to people who are grieving for their loved ones and give them hope? If I hadn't died and gone to heaven, how could I ever give hope to and prayers for people who are at the end of their lives with like cancers and stuff? There's a reason why everyone's here. We're all here for a reason, guys. And when we look into our hearts and our souls and we say, I'm on this journey. So we make this mental note, this happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me. And we say, why? What's my purpose? And then it becomes clear that you've been through all this hardship so other people know it's not just happening to them. Reach out, touch somebody. That's a song by Noiseworks, and I love that song. Reach out and touch somebody. Look that song up because that's one of my favourite songs. Yeah. John Stevens is his name. It's an Australian band. Reach out and touch. It's called Touch by Noiseworks. Beautiful song. I use it as one of my inspirational songs. Okay. Wow. I'll put it in as a comment. Okay. It's called Touch Somebody by Noiseworks. Okay, there you go. I've just added it as a comment. Go and listen to that song. Because when we've been through absolute turmoil, hardships, trauma, man, when we reach out to somebody else that's going through it and we say, hey, I haven't been through exactly what you've done, but I know where you're at, and I'm going to help you how to get out of that well of depression that comes with it. Oh, Anna, I love you, honey girl. Thank you so much for being so honest. That took guts. Okay, and I hope that I've just helped you a little bit. Okay. Debs. Now, what are you doing online? Because it was your birthday yesterday. I know some things. So everybody, join me. We're going to sing happy birthday to Debbie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Debbie. Happy birthday to you. Hope you had a great day. I saw the photos. Okay. Hi, Linda, and happy birthday, my fellow Aquarians. Nanu, all our Aquarian babies out there. Should I access my super? No. Or wait to see how much pension I'll receive to supplement our income. Don't access your super yet, because you're going to buy things that you won't need in the next 6 months. Now, that came straight from her, and I just repeated that. Did I just say 6 months? Yeah, 6 months. So September, okay, August. Wait until after the financial year, do your taxes, assess how much you get, what you spent, and then move forward from that. That could also be a time when you sell your house, okay? So just save your money up a little bit until then. You know, you've just had this celebration for your birthday, and I'm not going to say don't do that. I'm so happy that you did, okay? You needed that time out with all what you've been through. So now it's time to just take a couple more days to just get over this celebration. Yay! We're nearly at the weekend. Yes! Good time for birthdays. You know, my birthday's on a Thursday too, so I'm not going to plan anything for that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to take a couple of days off, and I'll do my Saturday live. But actually Thursday, oh my God, I do a live on Thursday. I'm going to be here on my 60th birthday in 4 weeks. Wow. So, yeah, there you go, guys. But for Debbie, buckle up. Don't take it out yet, because you'll spend it on things that you don't need in the future. You think you need it now? No. Okay? Just be aware of that. Everly. Okay. Hi, Linda. Loved my reading last night. So here we go again. Another testimonial, guys. She wouldn't say that unless she did, right? She wouldn't be here unless we had a really nice reading for her last night. So I'm just going to take this opportunity. If anyone does want to book a reading from me, all you've got to do is click the link below, how to book a reading with me. It's got all my terms and conditions and my PayPal link. I do not charge for my readings. I only ask for a contribution. Anything over $100, you get all my books for free as well. $120 if you buy them all on Amazon. So you're basically getting your readings or your book for free. I don't know, whichever way you see it. So there you go, guys. I do have spots at the end of next week moving forward. So Everly says, thank you. Loved my reading last night. You brought a lot of peace to my heart. Love you, Everly. Okay, you are an angel, as I told you last night. Okay, so please remember, guys, if I wasn't a good psychic, I wouldn't get people coming onto my lives. They don't spend the time and effort. You know that woman who hung up on me last week? Do you see her here today? She had issues that she can't deal with. When I pointed that out, she got offended and she hung up. And then she had the audacity to ask me for a refund. So that just shows you how sad. I feel so much compassion for that woman. You know, there are some people struggling at this point with their own mental health. And I try my best for everybody. Okay, I try not to judge. Hello, but I am human. Yeah, we all are. But please, Everly, know I love you. Thank you so much for talking to me last night. Okay. Barbara Byers says, meant to ask if there's any messages, guidance. Is there from you or your spirit friend? Her. I don't give her a name. She doesn't need one. Sometimes doing nothing is a good option. She's from New Zealand. Barbara, guess what? You've got that time to do nothing. Use it wisely. Doing nothing. Sometimes the best effort we can ever do is by doing nothing. Yeah? You know that, right? So do nothing. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, an hour, you may want to take a whole day, a whole week. I know some people who take a whole year where they just sit in their pajamas and do nothing because they have to declutter their mindset. How do you turn off the chaos unless we try to stay away from it for a while to see what other opportunities are out there? We can't just go from chaos to sanity. We have to take that in between time to let go and release and heal. And that's what I'd like you to do, okay? Okay, so let's just keep going. Love you, Barbara. Okay. The Beck porch, sorry. Hi, Linda. Is the GME wealth shift happening? Praise God. Well, yes. Is the GME wealth shift happening? Well, I will tell you that I've made some good prophecies. If you watch my video, I did it at the end of December. I actually said interest rates are going up in February. And I was telling people last week, I said next week, interest rates are going up next week. Interest rates did go up this week, and it was on Tuesday. I didn't know whether it was Tuesday or Thursday because all I was getting was the tea. That's how psychic abilities work. But I did know interest rates in Australia were going up, which means this is going to affect global because we are little America after all, and China and every other country that wants to invade and take over us. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a big shift with wealth. They want to regulate Bitcoin and all these other electronic financial systems. There's no regulations for it yet, even with PayPal, okay? It's not regulated through the banks. The banks are absolutely pooing themselves at this point because no one's investing in them. Who wants to invest in the Rothschilds, the most biggest, wealthiest family on the planet? You know, I would prefer to put my money into a low-key little place where they say, oh, yeah, we're going to give you this much interest for it. So this is what's happening now, this big global, I don't know what GME stands for, but what I am seeing, because I've prophesized it at the end of last year in my prophecies for 2026, the big banks are absolutely pooing themselves, okay? Why do you think they just put up interest rates? Because they want money. Why do you think houses cost so much? Because the banks want more money. Okay? Unless you're a Muslim, because Muslims don't pay interest. Did you know that? Muslims do not pay interest on their loans. Funny thing. Google it. It's real. I know a lot of Muslims, they don't pay interest. Okay? All right, so it is happening. Get prepared because there are good things coming, okay? All right, Everly says, is there any special word for me from your lady today? Just bear with me a minute, Everly. Oh, yes. I just had to confirm something that I said with you last night. Remember the massage thing? Get into it. Okay? Get into it. Start learning pressure points. Okay? And ask that other person for their advice on how to do it. Okay? Alrighty. So, yeah, so there's your special word. Okay, Rose Quartz. Oh, I love your name. Hello, how are you? No. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I am fine. Thank you so much for asking. User says morning all with a happy smiley face and a oh, look at the nanu. Oh, whoever that is, thank you so much. I love you. Okay. Scouse Raw. Hi, Linda. My friend had the lip cancer hasn't been online in a week. I'm worried about them. Are they? Oh. Also, my other friend Alex is at a career crossroads. Should he learn the law? Okay. Scouse Raw. First thing, I'd be checking in on that friend. Okay? If you can't get to their house, ring the police and say, hey, They've just had this operation. I can't contact them. Can you go and check them out? It's called a welfare check. People, cops go around, they knock on the door, and they just make sure if everything's okay. Okay, I'd be doing that. Just she'll know then that you're a good friend, or he or she, because you haven't said it's just a friend. It shows that you're a good friend, that you're trying to get there. If you can get there, I'm seeing that you can actually get there. Go around, knock on all the doors. Hello. Okay, don't break a window unless the police come. Okay, even they won't break a window unless there's like something that they can see through the window. But ultimately, I think your friend is just taking some time out. Okay, but just remember, psychics aren't always 100% accurate, so I would be going there. Okay, when they get there, you might walk in. They say, "Oh, thank God you're here. Can you please go to the shop and get me milk?" or something like that. So there's a reason why you need to go there. Okay. As for Alex, I cannot do a reading for him without their consent. So if Alex wants career crossroads advice, they have to contact me. Okay. I only work through consent. So I hope that gives you some help there. Scouse Raw. Okay. Little Wave says, "Hi, Linda. Sorry, joined, was working. Can you please tell me if you see me successfully picking up any clients in the next 3 to 4 months? Didn't know to repeat my request, juggling work." Little Wave, you got to change how you advertise. Okay? Change how you advertise. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Yeah, change how you advertise, because then you'll get more clients. Okay? Yeah. Truth and Beauty. Hello. Anything from Bren or from Brad? So sad lately. If this is someone who's passed, I do not do mediumship live. Okay? Because one, it breaches confidentiality. If I tell you something, there may be someone else who knows Brad listening in and they may get offended. So I don't do mediumship live. It's private. You don't know what they're going to say if they do come through. You know, we've got to remember it's only about 5% of spirits who do come through. So that's 1 in 20. Okay. So please be aware they may come through and say something really private. And then I just say it out loud and you're there, "Oh my God, you shouldn't have said that," live on a public forum. Okay. So I don't do it, unfortunately. If you do want a private reading from me, the link is below. Make a PayPal contribution, email me with how much you've sent over, and then tell me where you live, and we work out time and date, and I send you a Zoom link and we have a chat. Okay. And I am sorry that you're sad. I've got heaps of videos. If you click my name back into my channel, go to my playlist. If you look at my heaven information, I've got so many videos in there that I hope will give you some peace about someone who's passed over. Okay, I've got heaps of videos. Do we see them again? Yes. Do they give us signs? Yes. Are they always with us? Yes. My dad has been virtually coming to me every second or third night, and he died in August last year. So that's one reason why I'm not sleeping. Pardon me. Yeah. So, yeah, my dad. Okay. So I hope that gives you some peace there. Please go watch my videos, okay? They're all uplifting, and I hope that they make you feel a bit better. Okay. Day 5650. Hi. Will my classmate Antonio forgive me for the apology I wrote him? Thanks. And as I've just said, I don't read for other people, because if they're listening, they say, "Hey, this witch didn't tell me," with a capital B, "this witch shouldn't be talking about me without my consent." This causes karma, and I don't play with karma. So how do we get around this, day 5650? Let me just have a drink of water. I can't talk about Alex, but I can tell you how you're feeling. Now that you've put out this apology, you vented, you put out all your honesty, I hope, which I'm seeing that you did, please know you've released that karmic energy. You've done your part. Now, if Alex reacts, that's going to show you a lot about that person. Okay? If they come back, it's on them. If they say, F you, see you later, I don't want anything to do with you, that's on them. How you deal with it is what you can deal with. You've done your part. You wrote them the note. And that's one of the best ways of doing it. So they can just put it in their pocket, read it 6 months later if they want. So don't expect any reaction straight away because they may not read it for 6 months. Okay? You know, I've got a voicemail. When I broke up with my friend, she sent me 4 voicemails on the day that, well, she was angry, blaming me for everything that she was going through. But ultimately, I've still got those 4 voicemails sitting there because I never opened them. So they're like notes. I don't need to hear her attacking me for what she went through. So, yeah, with Alex, be patient. Live your life the way you want to live your life. Bring in the energy of what you want to create. And if that person's on the right vibrational energy as you, they'll come back. Okay? Otherwise, think about what it is that you learnt from them because everybody comes to us for a reason to learn something. Okay? All right. Little Wave says, thinking and sending best wishes for everyone to be all right. Yay! Dust to Dust says, should we be paying attention to the news cycle unless it involves us? That's right. You know, when we had that big shooting down in Bondi, that's about a 15-hour drive for me if I go down there. Why would I get involved with it? It didn't affect me personally. It's not going to change how much I pay for my electricity bill next week. So why get involved with it? Why do I have to go there and act all sad? 15 people died at the beach. Obviously, if I'd known one of those people, I would have been there out of support for the family. Okay? But I don't have to because I don't know them. So why be fake and turn up with this, oh, I'm really sorry for what you've been through. Don't get involved with it. Turn your TV off is the biggest thing that I can say to anybody at this point. Okay? Don't pay attention to the news. Pay attention to what you want to create, and the energy that you want to put out there to all those lunatics that are listening to the news. Okay? Jim says, meanwhile, in the UK, a purple-haired goth character is bringing the government to its knees, and it's all self-induced. Katie Hopkins. That's her name. Katie Hopkins, if you're watching, it's JIMH2211, and there's a little crown with a number 3 next to it in the comments. So you can find this comment there. Let me just blow my nose. Katie Hopkins came to Australia during COVID, you know, with all the lockdowns and everything. She was going to be on Celebrity, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where you get thrown in the jungle and you've got to eat animals, live stuff with all these challenges, right? So they brought her over unvaccinated in a time when everybody had to be vaccinated. So how did she get past that? Oh, that's right, because she's a celebrity. They put her into a hotel room and they said, when we knock with your food, you must wait 15 seconds before you open the door. So that gives us time to run away so you don't make us sick because you're unvaccinated. So when she did see these people, they were in their hazmat suits. They had the big white suits on like they were going into Chernobyl. And she just laughed at it all and said, this is a joke. So she went and did a live on Facebook and said, you won't believe the mentality, the insanity of these mandates that they're doing in Australia. So guess what the Australian government did to Katie Hopkins? The very next day after she got on live and said, you won't believe what they're doing in Australia, they deported her, sent her back to the UK. So now she's an activist, and she speaks about politics. So look her up on Facebook. I think she's on YouTube as well. Her name is Katie Hopkins, Hopkins. And she does the Bat It Bonkers Britain. So it all starts with B. No, and the second one is shit it. Okay, Bat It Bonkers Britain. So she's out there telling all the truth bombs. Whether they're truth or not is her prerogative. Yeah, I like listening to her because she throws a bit of fun into it, makes it funny. Okay. Alrighty, so thank you so much to Jim Holland for saying Katie Hopkins. Scouse Raw, seeing the truth between the lines always seems to be the end of the supporting the oppressor and not the oppressed with you. The last couple of times I've seen you, Linda, what is with that? Trump is insane. Okay. I tend to agree that everyone's insane at this point. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't just support one person. The only person that I support, literally, is her. When she tells me that's corruption, I listen because she's got more knowledge than me. When she says that person's lying, I listen to her and I say, you know what? That person's lying because it's not based on me and my ego, which you're now saying, Scouse Raw, that's your ego replying. 5 lines of ego, typing. Step back. This is our time now to really assess, use critical thinking. Okay? Use critical thinking. Because now with this latest Epstein drop, and I've received some of the files, so I'm sort of going through it, we've got to look at the evidence and say, is this real or not? Is this fabricated? Is this added in there by some agenda? Is it real or not? Okay? We can't just say, oh, it's an Epstein Trump, everything's real, because I'm not even going to do that because I don't trust anyone ever. I don't even trust myself. The only person I trust, and it's not even a person, is her. Love you. Okay? So I'm not supporting an oppressor. So please consider here, and I'm going to just go there. You're a little bit concerning if you're calling Trump an oppressor. He's brought gas prices down. What I've seen, unemployment's just gone down to like 4.5%, and it was up to like 5.4%, so it's come down a whole point. Food's coming down. Now that the immigrants are leaving, there's heaps of more jobs for people. House prices are actually falling. How is that an oppressor? Please explain with evidence. I've just given you some evidence. So when I see these people who I just call insane, I'm not saying you are because I haven't spoken to you, but I'm seeing these people like the lady I had the other day that I did a reading for. She could not supply me one piece of evidence that supported what she was saying about Trump and these riots. The only thing that she said was Renee Good was at the riot. Well, how did she know she was there? Was that person actually there and saw Renee? How did Renee know to get there? You know, ICE, and we've got to remember here, Trump did not start ICE. ICE was started in 2003 by, drum roll please, Democrat Bush. Did you know that? I do. So the oppressor is only following on what Bush, Clinton's, Obama all did. He's doing it exactly the same way. But now that we've got a Republican doing it, oh God, he's now an oppressor. I can't believe the mentality of some people saying that Trump's an oppressor when everything's coming back. And believe me, when you get your $2,000 check in a few months because of the trillions that Trump has now saved your country, he's going to give everyone a $2,000 check. Please send it back. You don't have to accept it. If you think Trump's an oppressor, you don't have to accept that check. Send it back. Send it to Walt so he can pay some more protesters to come out. Because I know that he's been paid. It's all over the news. I watched this guy. He's gorgeous. He's this, I'm just going to say, he's this black American, African-American guy. And he's called The Real A Dog. And dog's D-O-G-G. The Real A Dog. And this guy, this big black American guy, I love him to bits. I swear, if I saw him, I'd be hugging him to death because he is out there telling some of the truth bombs about the insanity of what's going on in America now, where you are defending the immigrants stealing your jobs, your welfare, and your homes. It's crazy what's going on in America. So please, Scouse Raw, consider giving me some evidence. You're welcome to email me. Send me some verified evidence where you're calling Trump an oppressor. Because I've just supplied you with evidence to say he's not. And that's what critical thinkers do. Wow. Wow. Peregrinus fella, can we get a reading? Yes, you can. How is disco? Okay. Disco duck, disco pigeon. I love it. I hope that disco's going okay. Okay. Willow. Ugh, I'm like, so sorry. No, you're not. You're here, Willow. Happy to see you from in better health. Would love any messages from your lady if you have the time. Lots of love from MS. Okay, Willow. I hope that you've been listening because today is all about letting go of the insanity. Scouse Raw, do they actually physically know Donald Trump? I don't know Trump. I've never met him. I've never emailed him. I don't know him. So I'm not going to base an opinion of what he does because anyone who does that shows that they're insane because they're listening to hearsay and gossip. And this is what we've got to stop doing. Stop listening to the hearsay and the gossip in the media. Turn the TV off, go outside, hug a tree, and say to yourself, what have I got in my life that I'm going to be grateful for today? I am so grateful that I'm sitting here today with talking to some sane people who are trying their best not to get involved with the insanity on the planet. Yeah, I talk about America because they virtually run the whole world. Okay, I know a lot about the Chinese politics. I know a lot about the UK politics. I know a lot what's going on in Northern Ireland at this point. I know about your Iran. We're nearly at the border of World War III. I bet Scouse Raw's got no information on that. But we're about to go to World War III with Iran. So please, how do we deal with all this chaos? Stop being attached to it. Stop being attached to it. Don't get emotional. Stop being offended by other people having their own opinions. We're all entitled to an opinion. We're all entitled to feel valuable and privileged. But when we cut the queue like Waltz did the other day, did you know that Waltz went out to like a food store and he pushed in line and everyone started booing Waltz and saying, hey, you're just another one of us, get in the queue. And he said, no, I'm the governor. Like, oh my God. I sit there and laugh at this insanity. It's insane what people are doing now. It really is. So I watch the politics all over the world and I just sit back and I laugh. And at the end of the day, I switch it all off after I learn what's going on. So I'm aware of it because we have to be aware of our own energy and we have to be aware of the energy that's going on so we know how to protect our own soul and our own aura fields. So we do become a better loving people. How do we ever make the world better unless we know what's going on so we do make it better? Yeah? Think about it. As I said before, how do we ever learn to love unless we see so much hate? How do we learn to grieve and to miss somebody unless somebody's taken away from us? They die or they're the M word, the group of crows. How do we learn to forgive unless people do things to us that we couldn't forgive? So we step back. We appreciate. We be grateful. One moment with one person Look when I was on stage with Bon Jovi. I was on with Bon Jovi for about 4 songs. I was on stage with Bon Jovi. He came over, he kissed me, I groped his butt. And look at that moment, how much that has sent me into a 2-decade emotional, energetic, happy thought. Like Peter Pan. Every time I think of that, I feel his butt cheeks. I go into that flying moment like Peter Pan. And that was just one moment in my life. It wasn't even the birth of my daughters. It wasn't even the day I got married. It wasn't even the day I died and I went to heaven, which was another great opportunity that I had in my life. I'm not talking about a day where Trump did something. I'm not talking about the day Starmer did something, or Albanese, or Jacinta Ardern, or Trudeau, or Macron, or anyone else on the planet. I'm talking about things that I've done, that I value, I appreciate, and I'm learning from. Don't do that to other people because that could lead you to an arrest charge. Pity it was in front of 45,000 people. Oops. So you can't deny when you've got 45,000 witnesses. But would I do that again if I was in the same spot again? Yes, I would. So that's where we go to. If I was in that same situation again, would I do the same thing again? No. Well, you're learning. You're learning. Okay? We're all here to learn. We're all here to raise our vibration and to learn to love everybody, regardless. So if you're calling somebody an oppressor, Scouse Raw, if you're still watching, you call someone an oppressor, that shows that you're judging them. We're not here to judge people. Don't judge people. Don't get emotional about what other people do. Okay? So Willow, I hope you just listened because that's a part for you today as well. Okay? Oh my gosh, I've just seen the time. I have really got to keep going. I am busy in half an hour, guys. I'm only going to do about 5 more minutes here because I've spoken so much today. Okay, Jackie Johnson. Will I be having a job change in February at current employer or in a new workplace or doing something I really enjoy? I'm not seeing it's something that you're really going to enjoy. Sorry. But I do see an internal change happening. Okay? Could it be February? More March. Okay, it's going to be more March. Something different. So even if you just say to your management, hey, can I do other chores or other tasks, learn new things? Okay, I've got to keep moving. It's that Aussie chick. Hi, Linda, and all feelings split about attending a funeral for an abuser from the past. Any messages will be much appreciated. Go. The answer is go. When we go to a funeral, that's the letting go and it's the releasing. So when you're sitting there at that funeral, that's you taking your power back and you can say in your heart, I forgive you. Go. Be seen. Let your shine come out knowing that person did not defeat you. What other people think of me is none of my business. So that person, the abuser, they had their own issues. And look at what happened to them as a result. So feel that compassion. Hopefully they're now in their life review where they have to experience every abuse that they've ever given and they're now healing it. So go. Be there and send them love. I hope and pray that you now receive all the love in heaven to heal what they did, what they went through that made them that abuser. So go. Please go. Okay? Okay. Julie Youngren said I came in second to the interview. You know it. Okay? The other person lied. Banned. B5123. Hi, Linda. Please, if you have a message for me, I'd love it. I hope you're listening to the whole messages today, Bandy. Okay? Band B5123. Okay? Yeah. It's all about today is about letting go. Don't get involved with what's going on. Stay in our own energy field. Trinity Twee. Hi, Linda. Can I message messages to recharge my energy. Yeah. How do we recharge ourselves? We sit, we close our eyes, and we think about all our happy thoughts. Peter Pan could fly when he thought about his happy thoughts. Receive that energy. So it's not just like saying, oh, wow, I like Bon Jovi and I was on stage with him and he kissed me and then I groped his butt cheeks. See how there's no energy in that. But if I say, oh, yeah, I was on stage, I was there with Bon Jovi, look at the energy I'm now creating because I'm remembering something that made me feel so great. Do that too, Trinity. Sit there and think about something in your past that made you feel great. Put that emphasis, that conviction into it, and you say, wow, 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 what a world, what a world. That's how we create it. Look at me now. Wow, am I zapped? You want to zap yourself with energy. Get up and do your happy dance. You know, I sit here and I air guitar to Led Zeppelin. Oh, that's Kashmir, by the way, by Led Zeppelin. And I do that in my head. Whoa. And I just start the energy vibrations happening and I feel it. And then I go, great for the rest of the day. Okay, Little Wave, thanks so much for this prayer you sent. Love you. I was going to send a prayer like this to a reader. Yep, I know who has helped, was very sick. Yep, okay, I've just got to keep going. I just want to do a couple more. Oh, my gosh, I'm busy in 25 minutes, guys. I really have to get off here. All Things Must Pass says, thank you so much. Love you. Yep, I'm just reading some comments here. I just... You forgot my message from the boss. Jim, you know I talk to you all the time. Sorry, darling. All Things Must Pass. Send in prayers. Bob Hope, sorry about your tooth. It's not my tooth. I've actually got teeth. Okay. Yes, I've got teeth issues. Okay. Ban says, hi, Linda. I have to start work, but I'll come back and listen. Absolutely. That's what I tell everybody. So you are still so beautiful, love, and respect, Bob Hope. Oh, Bob Hope, you are so good. Here's one, Bad Boy Byron NQ. Good morning, Linda. First time asking for a reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to make this one my last one, guys, because I've actually got to be somewhere else in 20 minutes. Do you think there's a chance of Derek calling me this week? Been waiting on a call and I've heard nothing. Can you see a call in my future? So, Bad Boy Byron NQ. I can't read for Derek, but I'm going to tell you how you are. So it's a loophole how to tell you about Derek without making it about them. Okay, because I don't read for other people without consent. So will you get a phone call? No. Sorry. But there's always the option that wait a week and then send a text. But even when I just said that, I'm still hearing don't do it. Wait, be patient. Everybody comes into our life for a reason. Okay? There's always a lesson to be learned. So this is why now you've got this opportunity while you're sitting in this impatient waiting zone, sit there and work out why you're waiting. Is that the person you want to be? Are you going to be a person who waits for other people to decide whether they want to be with you or not? Or if it's a doctor's appointment, ring them. And get accountable, responsible. Be accountable for what you do. Look at when Princess Catherine broke up with Prince William. Did she just sit there waiting for his call? No. She went out. She showed him everything he was missing. And then he went, wow, look at her. She's out there. She's not even affected by our breakup. She's showing commitment. She's out there doing support. She's showing me she's a queen and not just the drama princess. So that's what I want you to do too, Bad Boy Byron MQ. Email me if you want to do a little private more reading, okay? All right. Well, guys, I'm really sorry. I can't get through any more comments, guys. There's heaps more coming through. Please know I am out of time. I only do an hour and a half these days now. I will be here 9 a.m. Brisbane on Saturday. That's my tarot day where everybody gets tarot cards, okay? comment before I go live, because I always set it up about an hour and a half before, you also get the Love Dove card. They're all free readings. Everyone gets your tarot cards, okay? Thank you to the person who sent me a tarot card. If you do want to do a private reading on me, hello, today was free. You're welcome to email me. My link is below. If you do want a private reading from me, I've had heaps of testimonials. I've had 2 testimonials today that said that I've said good stuff. I've got so many testimonials. I talk to people all over the planet. I do not charge. I only ask for contributions through PayPal. The link is below in the description. I can fit you in about 4 or 5 days. Okay? I'm free again. So up until then, guys, I do have to go. Please stay in the love vibration. Don't get involved. Don't get offended. Don't judge what's going on. You know, if I'm going to call someone an oppressor, I'm going to have verified evidence and proof before I start calling someone an oppressor. So they're showing me that they've got sanity issues because I've studied mental health now for 2 decades. Okay? I can see the warning signs. So that is from my research and my experience and skills and education where I've seen that. So stay in our own vibration, guys. Take care of you. Be the person that you want to be. Do you want to be someone on the news saying that you just got killed because you were doing the wrong thing? Or do you want to be up there like Princess Diana walking through the mines and going and seeing the AIDS patients? I know who I want to be like. I know who I strive to be. I don't want to be a rioter. I want to be out there creating love and peace. Think about it. Just think. Critical thinking is at its all-time lowest point on the planet. So we've got to start and ask questions about what's going on. But why even get involved with it? Love you, number 1. Until next week, I'll be here Saturday, 9 a.m. Brisbane time. I do live tarot cards. Love yous all. Talk to yous all soon. Bye. Oh, I'm not gone yet. I pressed the wrong button. Now I'm going. Okay, see yous all soon. Bye.